Imagine living in complete silence, no conversations, no laughter, no one to even acknowledge your presence. It might sound peaceful for a day or two, but what happens when the days turn to weeks and the weeks stretch into months? Loneliness isn't just a feeling, it's a condition that rewires your brain. In this video, we explore what happens to your brain when you're completely cut off from social contact. The changes are far more dramatic and dangerous than you might think. Human beings are social creatures. We evolved in tribes, families, and communities. For tens of thousands of years, connection wasn't just emotional, it was survival. Our brains are built for it. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and social behavior, is highly active when we interact with others. The mirror neuron system, a network that helps us empathize and understand others, lights up when we watch someone smile or cry. When you're deprived of social contact, these systems begin to atrophy like muscles unused in a cast. The effects aren't just emotional, they're physiological. After just a few days of isolation, most people begin to feel anxious. Your brain starts producing more cortisol, the stress hormone. You might feel irritable, restless, and unable to focus. Sleep becomes harder. Your circadian rhythm, a cycle regulated in part by human interaction, starts to drift. You might start talking to yourself, not because you're losing your mind, but because your brain is starved for conversation. Even a one-sided dialogue gives it something to hold on. Over time, the effects of social isolation intensify. Studies on prisoners in solitary confinement and people in remote outposts show symptoms that mirror serious psychiatric conditions. People begin to hallucinate, not just visually, but auditorily. They hear voices that aren't there. The brain, deprived of external stimulation, begins to invent it. Depression deepens. Serotonin and dopamine levels, which regulate mood and pleasure, plummet. Cognitive functions decline. Memory fades. Problem-solving becomes more difficult. The brain literally begins to rewire itself for isolation, and the longer it lasts, the harder it becomes to reintegrate into society. Modern neuroscience tells us that chronic loneliness is as damaging as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of dementia by over 40% and can even shorten your lifespan. Brain scans of lonely individuals show increased activity in the default mode network, the part of the brain linked to self-reflection and rumination. This can lead to a downward spiral of overthinking, self-criticism, and emotional pain. Without others to help us regulate our emotions, our amygdala, the brain's fear center, goes into overdrive. We become more paranoid, more fearful, less trusting. But here's the good news. The damage isn't permanent. The human brain is remarkably adaptable. Even brief moments of connection, eye contact, a shared smile, a short conversation can restore a sense of belonging. Therapy, group activities, or even adopting a pet can reawaken dormant parts of the social brain. In many ways, the cure for isolation is simple but powerful: connection. We don't need dozens of friends. Just a few meaningful interactions can pull us back from the edge. In a world more connected than ever, too many of us still suffer in silence. So reach out, call someone, sit down with a friend. Sometimes saving a life, maybe even your own, starts with a single hello. Because the human brain, for all its complexity, was never meant to live alone.